What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined as always by my dad, Sean, and today reactions to the classics. We got one that we've been recommended quite a bit.
Yes, we have.
That I'm looking forward to a lot. We got the Stone Roses debut album.
Yes, we
So
do.
I'm looking forward to this. This comes courtesy of suggestion from our patron and supporter, Peter. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you, Peter. Smart guy, a new supporter, just new to the channel recently, and leaves a lot of good comments. Peter knows a lot about music.
Definitely, and I always like Peter's perspective because he grew up in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. Gives us a perspective we can't have.
Telling me about how he saw Bowie as a young lad in his prime, when Bowie was in his prime, and all these great shows that he's been to.
So jealous, man.
That's why I love our community, man. You got a ton of stories like that. So looking forward to this one. If you like this video, y'all be sure to give it a big thumbs up and hit that big red subscribe button as well. We upload every single day in a wide variety of genres. And if you would maybe like us to react to a song or a record like Peter, you can check out our Patreon page down below. Shout out to the patrons who help keep this channel running.
Sure.
And if you also want to maybe link up with us, we got a great Facebook community. We live stream on Twitch every Friday and multiple other days. So yeah, be sure to check us out and follow us there. And before we get going into the quick facts of this record, there won't be music here on YouTube, but no need to worry. If you want to hear the full reaction with the music in there, you can check out the link below where we house that on another site. But all that upfront stuff to say, let's get into the quick facts.
Yeah, and I got a decent amount on this one. Debut studio album, released in May of 1989. That's the month I graduated high school.
Hey, there you go.
Sold over 4 million copies. Barely eked into the Rolling Stones top 500 albums of all time at number 498. Recorded mostly at Battery Studios in London with producer John Leckie, who had worked with Pink Floyd on Metal.
That's right. Great Pink Floyd record.
Yeah,
right there.
So you're familiar with that. Recorded from June 88 to February 89, so a long period of recording here. It was not an immediate success, but grew popular because of their high-profile concert performances. Also, that helped establish them as fixtures in what they call the Manchester and baggy cultural scenes. If you're in the UK, I'm sure you know what that means. We don't as Americans, but record's critical standing also improved significantly in later years, as many critics voted it highly in the polls of the greatest albums, not just in the Rolling Stone one. And the background for them, they're based in Manchester, where, of course, the Manchester movement was centered. Formed in 1983. And released a handful of singles on different labels. According to many, the Stone Roses virtually invented Manchester and built a template for Britpop with their debut album. If you're watching this and you're from Britain, I'd be curious if you push into that and believe it. It's been associated also with rave culture and dance music. Got some interesting artwork.
Yes, as with most of the Stone Roses releases, the cover displays the work by John Squire, who was a member of the group. In this case, a Jackson Pollock influenced piece titled Bye Badman. I like that alliteration right there, which makes reference to the May 1968 riots in Paris. The cover was named by Q Magazine as one of the 100 best record covers of all time. It is quite a striking record cover indeed. In the article, Squire had said Ian Brown had met this Frenchman when he was hitching around Europe. This bloke had been in the riots, and he told Ian how lemons had been used as an antidote to tear gas. Then there was the documentary, a great shot at the start of a guy throwing stones at the police. I really liked his attitude. A little bit about the release and promotion as well. It didn't receive a lot of attention from fans or critics alike whenever it was released. And you had NME and Melody Maker who were covering the Manchester scene. They covered it, but and they had quite high praise.
Yeah, they did.
Melody Maker said it was, quote, godlike, and said the foundation of the music was John Squire's guitar playing, which he deemed, quote, beautifully flowing, certainly psychedelic. There are elements of Hendrix and Johnny Marr, two of my favorite, probably 5 guitarists of all time, on a couple of tracks, but the rest is Squire's own work.
Yeah,
so.
To support the album, the band played several high-profile gigs, including one on February 27, 1989, in what was regarded as the center of the associated Manchester and baggy scenes. Manchester's the Hacienda nightclub. The band's debut performance on Top of the Pops in November 89 helped the album receive more mainstream exposure. We've run across that from groups in the 60s and still here in 89 is doing that. The album eventually brought them nationwide success, and soon the band, along with fellow Manchester group Happy Mondays, were perceived as one of the key acts of the baggy scene. And then according to Acclaim Music, Stone Roses is the 58th most ranked record on critics' all-time list, which is insane. In 2004, it was voted the best British album of all time in the Observer's poll of 100 musicians and critics. And
Getting excited.
In 2008, it was named the 5th best British album ever by Q Magazine. And in 2000, it received the Greatest Album Ever award at the NME Premiere Awards show. And in 2006, it topped the magazine's 100 Greatest British Bands Ever. And in 2006, Time Magazine in the States named it one of the all-time 100 albums. Trey, how have we never listened to this album?
We've got so many requests for it, and so I'm glad Peter finally gave us the push to do it.
Giving the push, that's what I was going to say.
I think I definitely know we've heard "I Want to Be Adored," this first track that we're up to, and maybe one or two others just on live streams, but never obviously the full thing. So we're going to start with "I Want to Be Adored." It was released as a single. Begins with a collage of sounds. The first instrument to enter is the bass guitar, which appears 40 seconds in, followed by two guitars. It just kind of seems like it's going to build up a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't start till a minute 30. 2006, Q Magazine voted it the 32nd in its list of 100 greatest songs of all time. In 2007, NME placed it at 17 in its list of 50 greatest indie anthems ever. And VH2 placed the song at 2 on the Indie 500, a countdown of their top 500 indie songs of all time. There's several versions of this album. We're using the 1989 UK release, which is the proper release, and I'm sure the release, well, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna assume that Peter wants us to use. So that was a lot of facts, Trey, to get us here, to get us into this first song. But man, as you say, it's time to get rocking. We're gonna have the lyrics up as always.
Yes, sir. And from what I remember, this song is quite the banger. So. And we're going to kind of just listen to the song and then kind of give our full reaction at the end of each track and then give our overall score and favorite tracks at the end. So thank you again, Peter. Let's get going, man.
Let's do it.
Quite a fantastic way to open your debut record,
Yeah, I was going to say, just a super fun one to start with. I mean, you said it during the song. I really like the atmosphere of it.
Oh, definitely. Just the build, the slow, minute and a half build up, just with that bass guitar in there a little bit, and then whenever you hear that first kind of Squire guitar going down, I already tell I'm going to be liking John Squire's guitar tones.
Yeah, me too.
And kind of what he's about. This definitely had, and I mean, this kind of comes to mind because we reviewed this record recently.
Say My Bloody Valentine?
I was.
I'm steal it. I'm going to steal it before Trey does, so I look like he's stealing my idea.
I mean, obviously not fully shoegaze, but it definitely has that
atmosphere,
kind of hush vocal and just going on. Obviously not as noisy or whatnot, but
no, I could understand the lyrics on this.
Yeah, I'd be curious to read and see if My Bloody Valentine was influenced by the Stone Roses, because only a few years before Loveless was released, and this definitely seems like it had an influence, and I really enjoyed it. Again, quite hypnotic with the guitar going in, as well as the lyrics. Not a lot of lyrics in here, but since they repeat so much, they get stuck in your head.
They do, and it works. Like, you don't need a lot of lyrics to set the whole atmosphere. It all works together.
I think you can interpret the lyrics a lot of different ways. I don't have to sell my soul. He's already in me. Of course, the old adage, you got to sell your soul to get famous or whatnot.
Yeah, no, I thought that was fantastic.
Or you could probably read it in multiple different ways. And just that chorus, I want to be adored. I think there's a part of all of us, especially if you're in a group that wants to be adored. Of course.
Of course.
and famous and ready to be loved, and he kind of changes that at the very, very end from I wanna be adored to I gotta be adored.
Yeah,
almost like
I like that too.
Something he needs
at the very end,
to have meaning almost in life per se. But fantastic track.
Agreed. Now we're going to go to She Bangs the Drum, released as the second single. Released in the UK, Japan, and Germany, was their first top 40 hit. Peaked at 34 in the UK, a reissue in March 1990, improved by 2 places. It's funny, we look back on this stuff, even in the late 80s, early 90s. They would re-release stuff almost right away. That's just never done anymore. But single used a notably different mix of She Bangs the Drums to the album version. The hi-hat intro was omitted, and it featured a slightly heavier guitar sound and a marginally different backing vocal arrangement, so you might want to go listen to that and seek that out after you watch this entire review. Single version is one of the most commonly used for compilations of radio play. It was written by Ian Brown and John Squire, with Brown writing the verse lyrics while Squire was responsible for the chorus. Always interesting when you use that songwriting technique, and also placed really high on NME, didn't it?
Yes, number 12 on their list of 50 greatest indie anthems ever.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward after that opener, man. I got a high bar, but
yeah, I do
I'm
too.
thinking these guys can do it. Ooh, She Bangs the Drums. Gonna have to like that one as well.
Yeah, I'm getting a little worried, Trey, because traditionally on these live reactions, we pick 3 favorites, and there's 11 songs. Mm-hmm. And man alive, these 2 are going to be hard to beat.
I was about to say, what a way to start the record off,
no
man.
Joke.
This one had definitely more kind of a... It's tough to even put this in a genre, but a little pop, a little obviously psychedelic 60s influence.
That's what I thought too.
In there as well.
Easier to hear the vocals, instrumentation is dialed down some, but still really good.
Yeah, definitely. And there were some very cheeky lyrics in here, I thought as well. I hear my song begin to say, "Kiss me where the sun don't shine. The past was yours, but the future's mine. You're all out of time."
That's awesome, man.
I thought those lyrics there were quite clever, and then it's interesting. Then we had the second verse, which kind of introduces, "I can see her, here she comes. She bangs the drums." So obviously our title character,
yes,
the love interest, I guess you would say, and then we finish off with pretty much just 3 choruses.
Yes, yeah, and I think once again, there's such a pleasant sound to them. Mm-hmm. I mean, the lyrics don't have to be knocked. The lyrics aren't bad, but I mean, they're not, they're not Dylan-esque like Who's Are, but this is a whole experience so far. It's 2 songs in. It all just works together, man. So really enjoy it.
And just again, a very, very catchy type of chorus that you can just kind of vibe to. I think no matter where you are, kind of a bit happy, hazy, and uplifting all at once, which is kind of a unique vibe.
What are Kinks like in some of
their
stuff,
that's a good.
Obviously, the Kinks had many iterations of styles, but this would fit into one of them.
I can see that for sure, man. So, man, She Bangs the Drums coming in hot, and now we're going to another single.
Yes.
That reached 27 in the UK. We have Waterfall.
Yeah.
So let's see what we got here. That's our 3rd track, and man, they're 3 for 3 for me.
They are for me too, and they're different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's some similarities to the sound, like it's them. But there's definitely variance in there, so I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, they're able to make kind of each type of sound their own, which I think is showing some versatility here, even 3 tracks in, man. I really enjoy it, and I'm liking the imagery here as well, about this gal being like a waterfall. Lots of lyricism in here that kind of paints a picture in your mind, which I enjoy, and kind of makes you think of something's brewing in the town or in the area that you're going, and a bit maybe independence coming now that you're at the wheel. Tell me, how does it feel? So good to have equalized, to lift up the lids of your eyes. So kind of freedom, independence. Those are kind of the vibes I'm getting off of first listen here. And then that ending outro, Dad, I thought was a great. It was probably a 1.5-minute musical outro, but it
didn't feel long.
That was
fantastic. I had to type here because the problem is whenever you do, this is 11 songs. You listen to them all. You got to make yourself a little bit of notes. So this one was maybe fave.
That's there you go.
Even though I really like it, I like the other 2 slightly better, but it's really close because I'm like, uh-oh, man. Now, on that note, Trey, the next song, "Don't Stop," is generally considered the least favorite song by the fans of the album. But I don't want to make you. I don't want to influence you there. But it's interesting. It's a reversed version of the song we just heard, Waterfall, with new lyrics. If you play Waterfall backwards, the reverse lyrics sound a lot like the lyrics to this song. So it's too complicated for me to do, and we're listening to it through Spotify, so we ain't spinning anything backwards. But if you have the vinyl, that would be kind of interesting to hear.
That is cool, man. That is cool. So let's see what we got.
Don't stop. Not Fleetwood Mac.
That's right.
But Stone Roses, baby.
All right. Don't Stop. Our 4th track here. What were your thoughts on this one, Dad?
I can see why it's the least favorite. It's by far my least favorite. But that being said, It's not a bad song at all. I like the experimentation.
Yeah.
I like the different sound. I don't want to call them effects, but basically effects. You know, just the. It's got a nice little vibe to it, a little psychedelic, kind of just get lost.
Yeah, a bit of a experimental psychedelic. Yeah. That's kind of how I describe this one. You know, harken back to some moments on Revolver, almost with the kind of.
Especially at the start, you were mentioning. I agree 100%.
With obviously, since it's reversed, with the backwards guitar going in there, and since we had the whatever minute and a half outro at the end of Waterfall, then we had a minute and a half intro just since it's straight up reversed.
Yeah, I would have liked to have heard that. I'm going to go back when we're done with this and listen to just the end and the start to listen to it all fit together.
How they segue. No, I was going to do the same thing because I do think it's a pretty neat technique though that they tried on this. I agree. I thought it was the weakest song lyrically, but instrumentally
still fun,
it's still that's a good word for it, fun, and just it still kept your attention. Like, wow, this is you don't hear something like this every day.
No, not at all.
So I enjoyed it for that aspect as well. And yeah, man. So probably won't make my faves list, but still,
won't make mine either. But I'm kind of happy about that in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
takes a little pressure off you, huh?
Now, Trey, if somebody comes to do you harm, I want you to say 3 words to them. Okay, I want you to say "Bye Bye Badman," and that's song number 5. Centers upon the riots in Paris in May of '68. A little bit of what you talked about at the start. The lemon slice on the album cover is also inspired by these riots, which focused upon the philosophy of situationalism. You see, I practice that a lot. It's situationalism, but when you put it together, it's a little hard for this American Texas boy to say. Additionally, the protests attempted to suppress the allegedly overbearing establishment of the period. And as you talked about in the beginning, during the riots, the lemons were used to counteract the tear gas used by riot police. And Brown and Squire noted this and wrote this song in particular in recognition of the bravery and togetherness of the protesters in the face of violence. And that was 1968, Trey. And as we sit here in 2020, not a lot's changed around the world, has it?
No, exactly.
We haven't evolved like I wish that we would have.
I've never heard of these riots, man. So I'll be curious to kind of see what this track's about. So let's get to Bye Bye.
And I mean, if I recall right, I'm thinking Mick wrote some stuff about this, but I'm not positive. The Stones. I'm not positive though.
I'm a broken record man. Another solid, strong tune.
Yeah, and you mentioned we got a little bit into this. You mentioned very Kinks-like. And I agree 100%. Sounded like it could have been in the late '60s, which is I'm going to guess was probably the intention because they wrote it about that period and a nice little touch. But, but yeah, fantastic. And I mean, it starts out, "Soak me to my skin, will you drown me in your sea? Submission ends and I begin. Choke me, smoke the air in this citrus sucking sunshine. I don't care. You're not all there."
Yeah, I just that just transport you into the song, into this, riot type of environment.
Yeah, and I guess I should have read the next one. "Every backbone and heart you break will still come back for more. Submission ends it all," because once you submit, Trey, it's over. So they're saying we're going to continue to fight.
Definitely, and then that chorus again, very catchy. Just here he comes. I'm assuming he's talking about the policeman.
Yeah.
Got no questions, got no love, and now I think he's switching it to him. "I'm throwing stones at you, man. I want you black and blue, and I'm gonna make you bleed. Gonna bring you down to your knees. Bye bye, bad man."
Bye bye.
Ooh, I thought this was a fantastic tune. I mean, this first side here is just filled with
fire.
Great track after great track, and then at the end there, I did notice a little Johnny Marr-esque on that fade out a little bit. Just kind of not necessarily jangly, but in the tone and whatnot, just based on what that reviewer we said at the start. So I was listening for that, and I could hear it. But again, man, Squire's really impressing me on this entire record with his guitar tones and just the sounds the Stone Roses are able to create.
Ian sounds great. Yeah,
very easy on the ear.
Yeah, I just had to type maybe fave on this one, so I don't know, man. It's going to be hard times. Now we're going to go to a song that hardly has any lyrics, as I see it here.
That's
I
right.
guess
it's only 54
seconds long. That's why. So Elizabeth, my dear, says here it's a song. It's a protest song regarding the royal family, more specifically the Queen. It uses a traditional English melody from the song Scarborough Fair. So
there we go.
That'll be good. I actually didn't have that in my notes. Usually I have a lot of notes on this, but we'll put these on and take them right back off.
Short, sweet, to the point, man. Elizabeth, my dear. I recognize that melody because group I know we both on our own separately listened to their whole catalog. Simon and Garfunkel,
yes, sir.
had a Scarborough Fair like tune on one of their records there. I mean, not a lot to break down. I think it all says it in the lyrics, man.
Yeah, go read the lyrics if you're not listening along. If you're just watching on YouTube, go read the lyrics, and that kind of takes care of it.
I don't think that Ian was a big fan of the royalty at this moment.
No, I'm going to get
man.
that impression. Yeah, exactly.
All right, now that's going to take us to Song for My Sugar Spun Sister. So track number 7, we're now over the halfway point in the album. So I'm curious what they still got in store for us, man. I'm really digging this listening experience so far.
So am I, man.
Song for My Sugar Spun Sister, man. I again, man, really dug this one.
Yeah, I did too. And you mentioned it during the reaction, but the verses are somewhat mumbled. I would say that first verse especially.
Yeah.
If I wasn't reading the lyrics, I wouldn't have known exactly what he was saying. It gets much louder and clearer on the chorus, but I still think it all works together. It's a nice little tune, man.
Yeah, he starts off describing this girl he's, obviously kind of taking a liking to. He mentions, I'd like to know why she hates all that she does, but she gives it all that she's got. Another great little phrase or saying that we've just come across that Ian was able to write up in here. And then he notes kind of all these things that I don't think are going to happen anytime soon. The sky turning green, the grass several shades of blue, every member of parliament trips on glue. It takes all these things and all that time till my sugar-spun sister's happy with this love of mine. I'll take all these things and oh, much more. And then, then it kind of starts going, and then apparently, I don't know if they hooked up or what, but it seems like they kind of got a little closer than expected together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She wakes up with the sun. I think, what have I done? As I gave her more than I thought that I would. And then just kind of ends with that little outro there about the candy floss girl, sticky fingered boy, oh, that sister of mine. Again, very... just a lovely pop sound, great melodies in here.
Yeah, but a definite difference between the verses and the chorus and just even the musical and the atmosphere.
You're right.
Is almost like two different songs in one, which I thought worked really well together. Trey, that's going to take us to Made of Stone. Fun little story about this. Fun to read, not fun to live out. They made their debut on national British TV by performing this song on the BBC's The Late Show in September of '89. However, a minute into the song, the power went out, prompting Ian to walk off the stage cursing the venue. Can you imagine finally getting on national TV, getting your big break, and the freaking power goes out a minute? I can't imagine much worse things. So
no, yeah, that's hey man,
that would suck.
That's about the worst case scenario possible there. But let's see what the song is all about. Made of Stone, just another unbelievable track, man. They're just coming with banger after banger here, and this one was definitely kind of maybe the darkest atmosphere we've had.
It's funny, man. It was the darkest lyrically, but the atmosphere of the song itself was all
especially in the chorus.
You just want to sing along. It's one of those songs, if you don't read the lyrics and realize what it's about, you're like, oh man, that song just makes me feel good until you realize it's about a car crash and someone's burning to death. Or at least that's what I mean, it starts out hot, right? Your knuckles whiten on the wheel, the last thing that your hands will feel. Your final flight can't be delayed. No earth, just sky. It's so serene. Your pink fat lips let go a scream. You fry and melt. I love the scene. So if you're singing along with that nice chorus, that's what he's talking about.
Dang, man. Yeah, that was what a way to start a freaking track off. And then one of the best melodies we have in the chorus, man, just so just kind of an earworm, just gets stuck in your head, just fantastic. But as he's talking, sometimes I fantasize when the streets are cold and lonely and the cars, they burn below me. Again, just really kind of putting that vivid imagery. Then he asks, are you all alone? Is anybody home? And then he again kind of in verse 2 furthers on the flames going up. 10 twisted grills grin back at me. Bad money dies. I love the scene. Again, he's noting he loves the scene here. It's almost like he wouldn't change the chaos that is around him, man.
Well, the old saying is that you stop to watch the car wreck, so I guess he's just playing that out through song.
And toward the end, we had that guitar kind of solo that was, again, a little bit different than everything we heard. Again, showing the versatility, I guess I'd say, of Squire's just guitar playing. And now that's going to take us to Shoot You Down.
Shoot You Down, man.
All right, let's get to it. Coming in, what were your thoughts on this one, Dad?
Also really nice. Not one of my favorites, but a different sound to them for sure. We're 9 songs into this thing, and it's a long album, just minutes-wise as well. And it doesn't feel like it because they vary enough.
Not at all, man. A little, little blues influence here as well.
Yeah, some bass in there. Some just, really, I would say, still their sound, yet a different sound than anything else on the album.
Still able to kind of blend their almost, psychedelic, poppy type of sound, but, mix the blues in there. And I think lyrically talking about, the relationship, it's coming to an end. And the time has come to shoot you down. I mean, it's kind of right there in the third line here. I love to do it, and you've always had it coming. Whenever the music just stops on that, I think it's awesome because you're naturally, when you hear the music stop,
you start to
I think our brains just are like, okay, what's going on here?
What's next?
And so you perk up, you listen to what Ian's saying there, he kind of gets there. I never wanted the love that you showed me. It started to choke me, and how I wish I'd said no. Too slow, I couldn't take that. Too fast, I want you to know. So, I mean, this poor gal, man, she's about to be in for a rude awakening.
She's definitely about to be in for a rude awakening because he is done, and he wished he would have never started.
I really, really love that one, man. And now we go to This Is the One, our penultimate track already.
Yeah, it's played ahead of every Manchester United home game, with Ian Brown being a lifelong United supporter. Ooh. If you're in the UK, I mean, there's several US fans of Manchester United, but
that's right.
That is near and dear to your heart. Not something that I know a lot about, so I'm not even going to speak to it, but we're almost there, Trey. This thing's almost over. I'm kind of sad.
Me too, man. It's been a great journey. Ooh, fantastic song right there, man.
Great, man.
Just unbelievably catchy when this is the one. This
is the one.
Again, incredibly Stone Roses. Like, this is their sound now that we're almost at the end of the album. You can pick that up. The psychedelics in there, but also got just some nice straight up kind of just British rock and roll in a sense as well. What were your thoughts on it?
Fantastic. Making my job so hard picking favorites, man. This song is great, man.
And lyrically, I mean, I'm kind of not confused by it, but I'm curious what exactly, like, whose perspective it's from.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts, a girl consumed by fire. We all know her desire from the plans that she has made. I have her on a promise. Immerse me in your splendor, all the plans that I have made.
But then it flips to this is the one over she's waiting for. So maybe he's still talking about himself. Maybe it's still and from maybe, his perspective.
And I don't know, maybe she's dipping out on him and saying, hey, see ya, because he then notes, I'd like to leave the country for a month on Sundays, burn the town where I was born. If only she'd believe me. So that's kind of what makes me think that this relationship possibly didn't work out. But then, as you mentioned, Dad, it switches towards the end. Instead of this is the one she's waited for, to this is the one I've waited for.
Yeah.
So maybe it's turning right.
I think so, and I think the main thing of it is just it's more an atmosphere song. A lot of repetitive stuff with that just catchy chorus. Once again, man, I'm a broken record too, but fantastic. Just a fantastic atmosphere and build. And I'll tell you, we're up to the last song, and man, I always feel bad for groups that come out like this because you talk about coming out hot. Like, this album is unbelievable. This last one, I Am the Resurrection, single went to 33. It's a long song, Trey. I think it's almost 9 minutes long.
Yeah, and the last 4 minutes are actually just an instrumental outro.
Yeah. The title and its place as a final song is believed to have been influenced the title of their long-awaited follow-up album, Second Coming, which was released 5 years later. So I Am the Resurrection, Second Coming fits together. Q Magazine placed it number 10 in the list of 100 greatest guitar tracks. NME placed it at 8 in the list of 50 greatest indie anthems ever. It also placed it at number 100 in the 500 greatest songs of all time.
No, so we're in for a treat right here, man. So gonna end this track off big time, longest tune. I'm looking forward to this outro, especially with the acclaim that it has. So
and I saw where it's the 7th single. So 7 of the 11 of these songs were released, which is insane to me, man.
All right, well, let's buckle up,
let's
man.
Let's do it, man.
I'm
Put your seatbelt on, boys and girls.
I'm sad this one's gonna end us out, man, because it's such a great record. the ending track, I Am the Resurrection, finishing out this fantastic record, the Stone Roses. Lot going on here, especially at the end, man. A blend of almost funky rock as well with progressive rock just again, Squire showing off why he's such a talented guitarist, being able to kind of blend all of that into one, man. So I thought it was a strong closer.
Yeah, I think, it says something to me about the Stone Roses, not knowing much about their history. I mean, I studied a little bit about them, but it shows me that either they're, trying to show this or they actually are, but very confident. Because a debut album, if you're going to finish off not only with an 8-minute closer, but with the last 4 minutes being instrumental, it built to, what do you think, man? A minute and a half, 2 minutes on the opening track of instrumental building in, and then the building out. That just shows some confidence. I like this song. It's not going to be among my faves, but that tells you how good this freaking album is.
And I think it works as a closer, though, with that.
I do too. No, I think it does have a grand, huge album.
And then with the opening track, I Want to Be Adored, opening with that minute and a half, it almost kind of almost cinematic, bringing you in and out. See here, John Squire actually described this song as, quote, a murderous attack on one individual both Ian and I know.
I wonder how many people are going.
I wouldn't want to be that individual, man. A lot of religious references here as well. Almost, you almost think of, especially at the end there with the I Am the Resurrection and the I Am the Life. Of course, harkening back to Jesus' words in John, I couldn't ever bring myself to hate you as I'd like. I think I don't think Ian is a big fan of religion here, but he was able to utilize a bunch of the different kind of biblical imagery in this track to kind of almost tie it together. I think, but all that to say, man, now it's time for our favorite tracks. What do you got, Dad? I see here on your computer, your notes here, you got a lot listed, and a lot of those are mine as well, man.
I've got 6 listed, so I usually only do 3, but you know what? I don't think I can. This is an exceptional record, so we're going to make an exception. I got the first 3 tracks, I Want to Be Adored, She Bangs the Drums, and Waterfall. I got Bye Badman, I got Made of Stone, and I got This Is the One.
Man,
So 6 of the 11.
And I mean, Elizabeth, My Dear, is only a 53, so it's really almost like a...
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. That's really like 6 of 10.
I'm feeling I Want to Be Adored for sure. I think This Is the One for sure. Made of Stone as well. She Bangs the Drum was great. Yeah, Bye Badman. Even I Am the Resurrection. Sugar Spun Sister I thought was great as well. Man, this whole record just blew me away, man. On first listen, I'm usually not like this.
No, me neither. Never.
Gung-ho for a record, but this one was fantastic, which I guess naturally brings us now to our overall score of the album, man. What you want me to go first, or you want?
I don't know, man. You want me? I don't care. What do you want? I'll go first.
Okay.
So usually on first listens, it's tough, man. You've never heard the album, and the more you listen to something just in general, the more you're going to like it. This one is an exception in the fact that, I mean, this album is fantastic. So kudos to you, Peter, for finally making us listen to this thing. This is actually going to tie for my highest score of 2020. Oh, wow. I'm going to be at a 9.25 on this.
Dang, man, I love it. That's what I love to hear,
It's
man. Bringing in the
man.
goods. I mean, there wasn't a bad track on this. I was very impressed with how they were able to blend a bunch of different sounds, yet still they had their own unique sound, their own, Stone Roses. Obviously, very psychedelic influence, but a bit, obviously dream pop-ish, just some straight up British rock in there, with elements of a bunch of other genres throughout. We had some bluesy in there, some funk in there, and on just certain tracks. So I was very impressed with it. I thought there was some cool, clever lines in here by Ian as well. Squire really impressed me just all throughout with the guitar tone. So I'm going to be right there with you, Dad, at a 9.25.
Wow, man. That is, I'll tell you what, if you've watched our reactions, not our reviews, well, even if you've watched our reviews, these scores are very, very hard to come by.
Which I believe this is the highest score I've given just on a first react. I think might have given Grace the same score from Buckley. But yeah, usually I'm definitely not this high on a record, but this is this is an exception, man.
This is definitely an exception.
Fantastic. So thank you very much, Peter, for finally, as my dad said, pushing us along. And I'll have to listen to their next album, man. It is
5 years later. Man,
that's unfortunate, man. But
it is.
You can hear their sound on so much of that like early Radiohead, your Oasis, your Pulp. You know, on that Britpop scene, you can definitely tell that they were hugely influential. But you know, I don't think any of those groups did Britpop, if you want to call it that, as well as as these guys did. So definitely got to check out the rest of their work. Let us know what you think of this record down below. I know it's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts, especially that grew up in the UK. Yeah. And as always, I appreciate the research.
Oh, man, this one was fantastic.
Shout out again to you, Peter.
Thank you.
And until next time, thanks for watching. Y'all, happy listening, and we will see ya.